Okay, we should be coming up. Alright, so we should be coming up live on Facebook as well. Sorry guys, just 1 second. So Facebook changed my API key, so I just had to reconfigure that. Thanks for tuning in. We've already got some comments going on the chat. So right, let's just have a quick look. We've got Facebook is ready to rock. Alright, so hello Facebook, hello Twitch, hello YouTube. My name is Dr. Weeze, and I am an overclocker from South Africa. Now I need to just get switch here, transition across. Right, so you should be seeing my ugly face and about there we go. How's it everyone? Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I am Dr. Weeze. I am an overclocker from South Africa, and today we're going to start talking about GOC 2018. So the qualifier's got 18 days left. It was announced quite a while ago. The hardware requirement for this year from the Galax side was the RTX 2080 Ti and 4600 DDR4 memory. So I've got both in the OC lab. Let's start off with the memory. Comes in a really snazzy little case. Right, open it up. Oh no, it's empty. Okay, the memory is already on the test bench. I've already been going at everything. So I really like the case. I do have to commend them on the case. Having a look at the RTX 280, right, really cool card. What they've done this year is, again, we need the water cooled edition. So it comes with a bits power water cooling block. But what is new and unique this year, and I just want to show you guys, is this little thing that comes on the end here. Alright, so that will give you your voltage readout for your DDR and vCore. Right, nice little gimmicky thing there. Whether it actually helps any of us for what we want to do on Extreme OC, well, probably not, you know, right? So it's a really cool gimmick. So the water block again is the bits power. So a really nice looking little water block, same as the 1080 Ti basically. The difference is this one comes vacuum sealed like a piece of meat, which is quite a funny little thing. I always laugh at stupid things, and that's one of the things I laughed at, was a vacuum sealed water block. So let's get started with what I was hoping to do today. I was hoping to get the memory stripped down and get that ready for some extreme overclocking. I want to get that ready for LN2, and then also the video card. So yeah, I've had a few complications with the stream and everything else, so I'm running exceptionally late again. So let's just have a look quickly at some observations I had with the video card. So I just want to take this extra weight off the back of it now that I've showed you it, and it's just held in place with 2 screws and then a it's got like a little board at the back there. Right, so the first observation, I'm sure you guys have all seen enough videos of the RTX 280 already. It's got the power delivery on both sides of the core. Now where that is, or can be a little bit technical, is with your GPU pot. If it's too wide, you're going to have problems there. I can tell you, I've tested it with the Kingpin, the Raptor 3 and the Raptor 4. It all fits no problem using the inner holes. So happy days, no need to go and buy too much new pots and mounts and stuff like that. It does have inner and outer holes. Now the focus is not so great. You can see there's holes, inner holes and outer holes. So for the mount, so you can really, I think Kingpin has announced that he's launching a new set of mounts for his pots that will actually allow you to use the outer holes. What I would have liked to have seen is to be used the inner and outer both at the same time. I think that would have been quite unique, and it would have really just given you that really broad bit of support. But I've got some ideas there of my own. The other thing is with the Raptor 4, that's the pot I use at the moment, the video pot. So you can see I've got the insulation, it's quite thick on the sides. I had to cut out a groove on the side there, really, just so that those chokes weren't a problem. But the actual pot itself, there's still a good couple of centimeters or millimeters there, so it doesn't interfere. If you want to know, on the Raptor 4, the holes to use, it is the second from the back set of holes. Very easy, especially the Raptor 4. It was very easy to get up and going, so happy days. So I haven't tested this card with LN2 yet. I have had the pot on just to make sure it makes great contact and to see how the card worked. Right, so I'm still using my Canon M50. It does switch off after 15-20 minutes or something like that, so just shout in the chat if the main picture goes off. Right, so without further ado, the RTX 280 from Galax, this edition does not need any hard modifications. Galax, as always, have catered for us extreme overclockers, so there's no need to do any soldering. There are jumpers to control the different things that you need to control. I'm just going to leave it at that and not get too technical. George, thanks for tuning in. And let's switch cameras and have a quick glance at what I want to do here. So if we have a look at this camera, okay, I'll transition that across. I hope it's clear enough for you guys. Maybe we can just move that down a bit. Alright, so what I've got here, I've got the RTX, and I'm going to do just the standard Vaseline sort of installation. I'm a fond user of the Vaseline when it comes to doing extreme overclocking. The pure reason is when I get to the finals, or when you attend a live event, you need to be comfortable with doing things how you do them at home. That's my justification. So if I am used to using Vaseline at home and I get to the competition, then I can use Vaseline in the competition, and it's not like a major change or shift in thinking for me. So that's the one reason why I do it. And the other reason is because it's easier to clean should you wanting to sell the card off. So I've already committed to selling this card as soon as the finals are over, purely because $1,800, and it's a lot of money, and I've got 2 kids and the business is not doing so well at the moment, so I've got to just watch my budget. So $1,800, I will be selling this card at a loss after the event, but hopefully I can still qualify. So what I like to do is I'm just going to make sure that the gold fingers are nicely taped up so that I can't get any Vaseline accidentally on there. One thing you'll learn about Vaseline when you're working with it, it does get everywhere eventually. Alright, so just a little bit of precaution on the important parts, that being the gold fingers, the part that plugs into the motherboard. The NV link, you can actually notice there now, if you haven't seen this card before, NV link is now much bigger. That's for your SLI. From what I've seen so far, there's only dual card support, but I'm pretty sure they'll be coming out with tri and quad card support in time. I mean, it's really great. This card has got a lot of power into it. So let's just go a little bit of logic here. The important things to always make sure you get a good coating on is always your power circuitry. So you got your chokes and your MOSFETs and all that sort of stuff on both sides here. So that gets a healthy dosage of Vaseline. Because of the heat generated during running, theoretically the cold from the GPU pot should never go past this sort of area. So I'll only Vaseline up to this sort of area. The first couple of times I run them, when I get down to like minus 120, 130, I'll be monitoring this area to make sure that there's no creep of condensation, because if that condensation creeps over to this area where I haven't insulated, I'm going to get short, I'm going to be out, and then Bob's your uncle. I spent $1,800 for nothing. Alright, so then obviously the important part of this side, we will be using DisplayPort, purely because the HDMI on this card didn't work when I tested it, but I've had reports back from other guys that their HDMI also doesn't work when they've got XOC bias. So I'm sure mine didn't work with the normal bias, but I'm not going to worry about it until later on in life, right? So it's not a big concern in my life for the qualifiers. After the qualifiers, however, when I want to sell the card, that needs to be perfectly good working order. So what I like to do is I like to just put little caps, little video card caps, just to block off the port. Again, it's just to control moisture and condensation, nothing fancy. And then your Type-C connector at the bottom here, I'm just going to leave as is with a little bit of Vaseline. So on the back side of the card, again, coming up to this sort of point is where the moisture will get to. It won't go much further, but what I always like to do when I get a new piece of equipment in is just put a bit of clear nail polish over the serial numbers. And the reason being is because when it comes time to clean the card, you're wanting to make sure that those serial numbers don't get damaged, because that's your warranty, right? So I don't know where I put my clear nail polish. Let me find it quickly, if you can just bear with me. This OC lab is a real disaster area at the moment. Again, I tried to give it a clean the other day, but in testing this memory, I've ended up with yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Apex boards now all lying sprawled out of the place. I'm busy trying to figure out some memory issues with the Apex board, and it's just been an absolute whirlwind. And then time is not your friend. If any of you guys have got one kid, let me tell you, adding a second does not make life any easier. But I'm very happy with what I have ended up with in life, so I'm not going to complain anymore about that. Okay, found my nail polish. Okay, so let's have a look at the chat. Hardware too expensive, too much dollars, 100% man, it's just crazy. I wasn't initially going to do GOC this year because of the kids and the business not doing terribly well at the moment, but it's the one event I really enjoy doing, and I've done it. This will be my 5th year in a row I'm doing it. I think it is 5th year. And you know, the Galax guys are great. They look after the overclockers, and I really want to try and support the companies that are doing their bit for the average Joe overclocker that can't get into the top 10 at the moment because you know, it takes money to get there. But anyway, I won't complain anymore about that. So that's a quick coat of clear nail polish just to cover those serial numbers. So it clearly states warranty void if removed, so the nail polish would just help not removing them. So I've got my gold fingers taped off, and that's about all we need to worry about. The next is the lovely part, and that's just with some normal petroleum jelly, and we're just going to lambaste this card. So I'm not going to do the memory today. I'll squeeze in a quick stream of getting that memory stripped down sometime tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning early. I see on my SMS line, I just had another client move their meeting, which I had scheduled for the morning, so I can now get into the OC lab tomorrow morning to do some work there. So we've got 18 days left of this competition, and out of those 18 days there's 2 weekends. Out of those 2 weekends I've got one with no electricity. Unfortunately, the municipality in the area is doing some upgrades to the infrastructure on the 3rd, so we will have no electricity for that day, and knowing from past experiences, we'll have no electricity the day after. So that essentially gives me 16 days to get all of my prep work finalized and get some decent scores in. Right, so just a little healthy layer of Vaseline on the back here. Some people like to now go and melt that Vaseline in. I like to just leave it well applied, and it will naturally just seep into all the places. I do touch it up after every second session, not every session. Alright, so any questions there on? Let's see, we've got some chat movement. Missed out myself due to not being able to sell enough stuff. Yeah, George, it's a pity you weren't able to get in on the action there quick enough. I was quite surprised to see some of the Chinese guys, or some of the guys from the East, buying 3 video cards and 4 sets of memory. I was really shocked by that, because holy crap, it's a lot of money, you know. It's a lot. Right, so maybe the best I've seen is not managed to get my 8700K. So you fixed your OC formula. How far have you managed to push your 8700K? Okay, so those 4800 RGB sticks you got, are those are A2 layouts, so that's the same as the Galax sticks. I take it major compatibility issues by the looks of it with them. I've really been struggling over the last couple of days to try and get some sort of traction and try and get some sort of overclocking going with them, but they're just not going. So I have managed to figure some stuff out. But the next step now is to try and get in touch with the R&D guys to see if my thinking is correct and if we can fix the problem. Okay, that's quite interesting. So if you were poking around the socket, does that mean you either had the bent pin, which were preventing dual channel, or was it some dirt on the socket? What was your experience? What did you find there? Okay, so I've got Vaseline on the back side. Now I flipped it over and I'm just going to do exactly the same now on the front. And just making sure that I've got enough Vaseline on the paintbrush. And you can probably see that I've got quite a healthy amount on. And it's really just getting it in, making sure that I'm getting a healthy amount and an even spread, or a spread at least. At $1,800, I really can't afford for this card not to give me some qualifying scores. So really, it's the most nervous I've ever been about a qualifier, because I haven't had the best of luck. And typically with GOC, I try and buy 2 cards and 2 sets of memory, but the cost this year is just, it really was, it's a put all your faith in whatever you get and do the best you can do. So I wouldn't be terribly surprised if I do not qualify this year. The hope, or the thinking is that because the 7 last winners plus 1 wild card get automatic entry into the finals, they don't have to qualify. So essentially that's 7 of the top overclockers from previous years. Included in that is like sort of like 8-pack who doesn't really take part in anymore and stuff like that. So so really 6 or 7 of the top guys won't be qualifying or won't have to qualify this year. So that means you are immediately competing against 7 guys less than you would every other year. That's really, hopefully things go well. And we'll see very quickly how well this card does or how well this card doesn't do. As far as stock performance is concerned, I can tell you that on stock voltage, with no changes to the voltages or anything to that effect, I was able to get a 2065 boost clock out of it, 2065, and then you notice there's weird things happening with the boost, temperature related. So there's a couple other things I noticed which I need to just finalize my investigation before I talk too much about them. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how it performed on air when I listened to what Roman did with the Strix cards. Now we just got to come down and see how the mounts go and how the sessions go, and the temperature wise, and cold bugs, and cold shutoffs, and all the other wonderful things that happen magically every year when GOC comes around. Memory compatibility is going to be an interesting one. It really is. It's one that's taking up the most amount of my thinking at the moment. But we change focus and we shift gears and we get onto video card as soon as possible now. Alright, so that now is all of that sort of insulated. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. So I've just got a guest that's arrived. Okay, so that's that in a nutshell. Let's just have a look at the chat quickly. Okay. Alright, so what do I think the issue is? I think the issue is in the bias code. And why I think why the issue is there is because up to a certain frequency I can do anything I want, everything I want. I can throw the world at these sticks and they just run them, no worries, you know. Go 1 megahertz more and it won't do anything at all ever. That to me is just too much of a coincidence or quinky dink. So I don't know. Look, I'm not going to go on the record just yet. I just need to do my research. I need to speak to other people and just make sure that what I'm thinking is correct before I make an ass of myself and make a big claim and it's actually not true, if you know what I'm saying. So let's just have a look here. I've got some messages on Facebook quickly. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I've got to respond to some messages here. People obviously don't understand. Okay, so let's just wrap this up now, and then we'll come back to the memory story, because I'm going to get more information before I stop blurting out. I want to get some more information. So let's just go over what I've done here now quickly. Tape off the gold fingers, guys. You want to make sure that you're not getting any Vaseline residue on there. You can clean off Vaseline residue, but it's not... you know, just avoid it. Okay, I've made sure that I've got adequate Vaseline around each memory module, top, side, bottom, left, right. I've got adequate Vaseline around the VRMs, around the chokes, around all that sort of stuff. I'm not, if moisture runs through there, I'm not going to get any moisture underneath the components. From there, I can then now go and clean up the core. I can now go and check my mount distance, my mount height. I can get my pots mounted. The important thing that Mad said in the OC pack is it's all about mount. Okay, so same as last year, you got to make sure that you're just getting that even mount. You're just getting shit to stick nicely and it's working nicely. Don't come with your paper and on the side and all that sort of stuff, and Bob should be your uncle and you should be alright. So this card's now ready to rock and roll. I'm going to get my foam cutouts done and all that sort of stuff offline. I now need to shoot. Unfortunately, I've run out of time again. So I'm sorry this was such a short one. I was running an hour late and I've run out of time, but it is GOC season, guys. That means there's going to be lots of testing, there's going to be lots of streaming. So just, you know, subscribe to me on Twitch to get the notification of when I go live, so that you can catch the streams. If you don't catch them live, then everything is always on Twitch. And then we also on YouTube. So all the recordings are historic on YouTube. So if you want to get if you want to watch something that you've missed, or if I've streamed at a time that you're not available, you can always catch it there. So I have to say cheers for now. Happy benching. I will bring more streams to you over the next 18 days at least. It's going to be fast and furious. I've got to get these scores done. So guys, thanks for tuning in, George. It's been great to chat to you live. Same with you, Shubi. And until next time, guys, happy benching. Cheers. Okay, so gotta run, gotta run, gotta run.